I'm really shocked because this is literally the biggest portion size I've ever seen in my life.
After experiencing the World Cup in Seattle, I decided to leave the city behind and head out into the countryside to see a different side of America, including the famous diner from the Twin Peaks movie.
This is so beautiful. This is such an interesting place. Like, this literally looks like straight out of some Hollywood movie.
Driving through small towns in Washington, I kept coming across places and moments that felt almost too American to be real.
I just found a rummage sale. It's right here in a church.
And along the way, I learned something very important about everyday American culture: the imperial system.
1 yard. That's very useful because I literally had no idea how much a yard is before I saw this stick here.
Luckily, after today, inches, feet, and yards might finally stop confusing me. So join me on today's adventure through America's countryside.
I'm here in the beautiful countryside of Washington State. I'm in the town of North Bend. Have a look around. The weather isn't great particularly, it's raining a bit. And the reason why I'm here is because there's a very famous diner here from the movie Twin Peaks, and I'm trying to find this diner and I hope we can get some food there. I really enjoy the scenery with all of these like big mountains around. I bet they're probably really high, we just can't see it with like all the clouds. But I love this. Look how American this looks. This is such a cool town. I love it. Look at this. This is amazing. This is so pretty. So after we have some food at the diner, I'm gonna try to go into the nature and check it out because it looks so pretty. So that is it right over here. That's the diner. I have to admit that I haven't even watched the movie Twin Peaks, but I should definitely do this after visiting the diner. But I love how this looks like. I feel like this looks like so vintage with like all these signs, and this is just so typical American. So let's head over there and see if we can get a seat. So this thing here is really cool because this is where you can actually buy your newspapers. You put $1.25 in, so 5 quarter coins, and then you can get your newspaper down here. That's pretty cool. Like, I've never seen something like this before. Let's see. Oh, I think here we can even get like some free newspapers. So that's pretty cool.
And then it was finally time to step inside one of the most famous diners in movie history.
I just got my omelet and I'm really shocked because this is literally the biggest portion size I've ever seen in my life. And I have no idea how I can eat all of that. Okay, so let's try this omelet. This is a very typical diner food here. And I tried Waffle House last time in Florida, which was really interesting. But now let's try a more authentic local diner. Cheers. I also got a whole mountain of American hash browns here. Cheers. One thing I really appreciate is all the amount of like hot sauces you can get here in the States. I've never seen this kind of hot sauce, but it's so good and it goes so well with eggs. I wish we would import this kind of stuff to Europe. Most of the country's apples are actually grown here in Washington State. That's why I got myself some apple pie to try Washington's famous apple pie. This is also my first ever American apple pie. I never had this ever, so I'm very excited. Cheers. This is warm. It's like almost fresh out of the oven. This is like delicious. It's very, very creamy. It's very sweet, very creamy. It's completely different than any kind of apple pie that we have in Germany. But it is really, really good. So this was a really, really cool place. I really like this diner. And I really, really enjoy the interior because this does look like a diner that I know from the movies. You have like the black and white tiles, you have the booths, and you have the red chairs. And this is just so typical, like what I would imagine a diner to look like. So I'm really happy I found that. And they gave me a little Dum Dums lolly in root beer flavor. I never had a root beer, so let's try the root beer lolly. Here we go. Cheers. Oh wow, that is really sweet. That flavor literally has nothing to do with beer. I don't know why this is called root beer. Yeah, it tastes like a very, very sweet candy flavor. I love the architecture here. Everyone has such pretty houses. And I feel like everyone has such big homes with like such nice gardens. And all of these like pine trees right in your backyard in front of this scenery. This is like so pretty. It is very interesting for me to be here because Washington State is only my second state I ever visited in the United States. The only other state I've ever visited is Florida, and this is like such a big contrast to Florida. But I love it. It's so pretty. And there's a church right over here. I think this is another interesting thing because the churches here look just so different than any churches I'm used to in Europe. And I love how they always have this little sign out front where you can see announcements and information about the next service. It's so interesting. It is incredibly idyllic, peaceful. I'm really enjoying it here.
As I drove further into the countryside, something on the side of the road suddenly caught my attention.
I was just driving along the highway in the car and look what I just saw at the side of the road. All of these deer down there. These are huge deer and they're just there. They're just there. There's like no fence. These are wild deer just like right here in front of this incredible scenery. This is like literally so cool. I have never seen anything like this. Like just so many wild deer and such huge deer. So many. This is amazing. I really can't believe that right now. And they're not even afraid of the people. Like there's people right out here. Everyone's looking at the deer and they're just like chilling there. This is amazing. This is literally so beautiful. I did not expect to see this here and I am very, very happy right now. I'm here at my next stop in the middle of nature at the Snoqualmie Falls, and this is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely crazy. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. This waterfall is huge. It did start raining a little bit. I think this is really typical for Washington weather. I think it can get pretty gray and rainy. But honestly, it just adds to the atmosphere. This nature here behind me, this is insane. This is honestly what I always imagined Canada to look like. I didn't know that the US had stuff like this, nature like this. I mean, it makes sense, we're so close to the Canadian border, but this is so amazing. Like, just look at it. This waterfall is so powerful. And like all these clouds rising from down there, and these like huge pine trees. I love the forests. We do have a lot of pine tree forests and needle forests in Europe too, but they're not nearly as high as these trees right here. I just found a rummage sale in a random town here in Washington. So it's right here in a church. Entering over there, so let's have a look. It's like a garage sale, I think. So I think people are selling stuff in there that they don't need anymore. And then I think you can just like buy something. So I don't really know because I've never been to a place like this, but I just randomly found it. Rummage sale today. Enter here. So I'd say let's just check it out.
Works.
Hello.
Hi. If you have any questions about pricing or anything, feel free to ask. We're more than willing to negotiate.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you can get like all kinds of costumes. They call this a costume. So I think the keffiyeh is part of the costume section here. So that's really cool. I think this is some sort of community center from the church. Wow, and you can buy like all kinds of like toys, books there. This is so cool. This is literally so cool. Preschool items, preschool supplies. This is so interesting. You can even get the Old Testament on VHS.
I have a Michael's bag.
Kids' clothes. Wow, so you can get one piece of clothing for $1, I think. That's actually really, really affordable. This is really nice that a place like this exists. $15 for this dress. And this is a really cool place. This is so interesting. Everyone belongs. That's also like one thing that is just so interesting about Washington State, how open-minded everyone is and like how queer friendly this is. This church literally had a rainbow flag outdoor. This is also something I just didn't expect to find here in the US, especially with current politics. But yeah, Jesus loves the children of the world. I like this place. Oh, you can get your Halloween decoration. So cute. So this here is a yardstick, because here in the States people don't use the metric system, which I find super complicated. This is 1 yard, so I guess that's like almost like 1 meter, I would guess. 1 yard. That's very useful because I literally had no idea how much a yard is before I saw this stick here. Cool. There's a train coming right out here. Whoa, that looks so cool. Oh, Portland and Seattle. I wonder if that one drives down all the way to Portland. These cars look so old, it looks so cool. I had a really nice time today and I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'm gonna see you next week to my next USA adventures. Bye bye, until next week.